So here I am. I am in South Korea, fulfilling my dream of, well, living here. So I wanted to study here years ago. There's something on my lip. A little bit. It's ginseng syrup. Anyway, um, I need to run away from this job. So I left a higher paying job. Going back. So I have studied a lot of languages. I studied in different countries. The first time I studied in Japan, I was looking into learning more. And I wanted to learn Korean. And I was looking online and I found this program at a university in Seoul that looked really great. I couldn't afford it at that time. And then years passed. I went back to Japan. Still didn't have the money. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just save up and do it later. And then another decade or so passed. I still hadn't gone. And I thought, well, instead of spending money to study, why don't I just go and work there? And then I can make money and then also learn Korean on the side. And my Korean, I thought, was, good enough. I'm conversational. I know how to put a sentence together. I know thousands of words or whatever. And then, yeah. But yeah, this job is killing me. It's a lot of work. I have to do a lot of work outside of work just to keep up. The worst thing about it though is the managers. This one manager in particular is not Korean. He's from South Carolina, I think, North Carolina, one of the Carolinas. Doesn't speak Korean, been here 7 or 8 years. And then there was no training provided. And then what happened was they said I hadn't assigned a certain homework to the students. It was not something that affected their grades. They had already done that homework previously, so I still don't understand why they needed to do it again. It was just past the test that they had for that homework, so it didn't even matter at that point. But they said, oh, if we find anything else, we're going to write you up. And this was the first warning for that particular thing. And I was so stressed out. And then this was only 5 weeks into the job. Again, we had no formal training. And then, right after that, they sat in on my classes without telling me first. And I was so stressed out, I couldn't function. And yeah, and then they wrote me up saying that I was not teaching well, which is really funny because this teacher in particular is just awful. When we first met him, all of us, he told us how he's the best teacher there, how he's exactly what they're looking for. This guy's totally delusional. But yeah, about all kinds of things. Like I could go on a list, but that's personal. That's something else. But yeah, and we sat in. When I sat in on his classes, he would like teach one or two things. He would like just laugh, joke around, call them bad kids, find a way to talk about his girlfriend in class for validation. It's all for validation with him. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, they wrote me up, which was not fun. And I actually, even way, way before, even when I first got there, I was getting bad vibes. I didn't get the best feeling from like the interview, but then I figured out how bad could the job be, and it turns out it's like a lot. And I'd asked several times, um, that like what is the job, and it's a lot. There's a lot involved in the job, so I understand I didn't get like a straight answer. But I asked, is it a lot of work? Like, am I going to have to do work outside of work? And it's like, it depends. And yeah, also when I started, because I had teaching experience, he said that he was going to ask more of me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what that means, but all right. Hasn't acknowledged that or brought it up since. Has not acknowledged that he's given me more than the other workers who are also new. And yeah, and then I miss some things that, again, I think are like super, super minor. The things that they've written me up for did not affect the company. The five other employees, all five of the previous employees who I met, who like there's four of us who came and replaced four other workers. They all hated it there. One other person too who had left like a few months before, I met her. Same thing. Hear all kinds of stories. So it's not just me. They Most of them had at least stayed out their 1 year contract and either left. Two of them still stayed in Korea. I don't know how long. And one of them I knew had been here for like 7 years, and he said this was the worst school he's been to. The other one, I don't know if that was her first year in Korea, but yeah, she's still here, so they don't have a problem with Korea. Another person I talked to who's only been here for 1 year, the one I took over for directly, she said, yeah, she misses Korea. She wants to come back. Um, yeah, they just all kinds of stuff. But I don't want to be a midnight runner. That's a person who just ups and goes. It's mostly because I started, well, it was different things. One was it's like there was a retreat in November that I wanted to go to with my employment agency just because I was curious about it. And honestly, it was just okay. I mean, it was it was nice. It was nice meeting those people. It was nice the hotel was nice and everything. It wasn't like a whole big deal, you know. It was just kind of like, kind of thing. But it was nice. And then right before the retreat, I started dating someone, so I'm mostly staying for him. And yeah, so we shall see. But there's stuff back home, like my mom's not doing well. She needs surgery. My brother is having another kid who's going to be born in March, I believe. And now I'm mostly staying and then there was a debate tournament that I was curious about, so we did that. That was like, eh. And then I'm like, hey, if I'm staying for the debate tournament, might as well stay for the next paycheck, and that's passed. And then another incident happened. Um, yeah, and then now the next thing that I'm staying for is that my friends are not coming here, but they're going to Japan for their honeymoon in a few weeks. And then I just bought the tickets yesterday to go up and meet them for the weekend. It's like $300 for like about 24 hours in Japan, 25 hours between like landing and flight departure. So, yeah, I was like, is that too much? But I'm like, well, you spend like $200 on a really good dinner, and this is like a day in Japan with my friends, which I've never done before. It's their first time in Japan too. So, yeah, and I lived there for 2 years. I speak Japanese, right? So I can show them around, tell them about stuff and all that. Anyway, yeah. So that's what I'm waiting for now. At least this week should be kind of easy because of the incident last week. There might be some issues today and tomorrow, but then we have testing today. Or not today, what's it called? This week we have testing, so at least there's not really lessons to prepare for. There are student comments which we have to get through, but I'm more than halfway done, I think. And I have a doctor's appointment early in the morning tomorrow and have to prepare for that because they're doing some checkup things. So, yeah, those are things I'm staying for. The medical stuff is seeing my friends in Japan. I do have another job that's lined up, but they cannot take me until my current school releases me. And I've already given my notice to the school, so they're looking for someone else, but they haven't found anyone else to replace me yet. So that's the thing. And they say they will not give me a letter of release until they find a replacement, which is, yeah, so I cannot take the new job yet. But I signed the contract with the new job. I told them everything that's going on, so we're just hoping that they find someone to replace me as soon as possible. That's the main thing. If they don't, maybe I have to stay there until they find someone, and then I'll just, I don't think I'll be able to find a new job at that point because the semester will have started. If that happens, I'll stay for my boyfriend. I'll stay until they find a replacement, and then I will go back home to Hawaii, fix things, see how things are, see people, all of that, and then I'll come back in August, or try to come back in August, um, for a different school. So that's the plan. Anyway, yeah, so I'm off to work right now. Gonna upload this later. Anyway.